Okay. I genuinely feel like at this point in time, it's actually been quite a while since I did a gear and beer. So, cheers. Ooh, ice cold. Crud. That's gonna be delicious though. Partly cloudy IPA. Alright, guys, so been a while since gear and beer, and if I were going to talk about a particular episode, I think this is like episode 15. Got a little bit of out of the swing of things in regards to sticking to that once a week, but that's all right because got a little busy. And sometimes, I guess I kind of say this, but don't beat yourself up if you're not on social media, if you're not putting yourself out there. Because inevitably, what I come to find is when I'm actually the busiest and when I'm like not on social media, is kind of just a representation of things are going well. Now, while that's not the topic, tonight's topic is relationship building. And this is one of those where I had some notes, I've had some recent projects that I've been working on, and I just really wasn't feeling talking about them in particular. Now, things have been great, projects have been coming in left and right, but it made me start thinking about relationships and how relationships and word of mouth and things like that inevitably have turned into what keeps, I guess, the business coming in. So, in this episode of Gear and Beer, we're just going to talk about relationship building. Something that I actually think is almost 50% of my company, my business at this point. And I really didn't I always knew all along that relationship building was going to be valuable, but when I completely went out on my own, I found out very, quickly that relationships are pretty much everything. Now, that being said, you're sitting here, you're watching, you're saying, great relationships, Trey. But how do I establish them? How do I build them? And I've mentioned this on the channel and I've mentioned this on these kind of podcasts, starting with people that you currently know, whether it be friends or family, and go from there. Now, relationship building is always going to be, or going to, I guess, hinge upon you are going to have to deliver. Now, on top of that, how are you to work with? Are you in communication with your clients? Are you giving them the good, the bad, and the ugly? Now, that being said, sometimes you don't want to give them the ugly, but you at least want to keep your client informed. And I think this is a part of the kind of relationship building process. The more that you can kind of be straightforward with your client, the more that you can keep in the loop, in my personal opinion, I think that is always, always going to be a victory in regards to relationship building. I honestly think that in most of these situations, you have to be more all in with your client on the front end. I always actually think you should be more all in than your client because they are inevitably paying your bills, but you need to give off that vibe that you're willing to do just about anything for them. Now, I don't mean work yourself into the ground, give them a ridiculously cut rate. What I'm just trying to say is genuinely portray yourself as someone that is there to help them and there for their best interest. I genuinely think this is something that over time, whether you're doing it to be authentic, you're doing it because you genuinely like these people, or you're just doing it because it's just, I don't know, the right thing to do. Being authentic with people, being straightforward, not always going for the money bag and going for a big dollar sign, but being just honest with people, I think keeps them coming back. Now, one thing I would say in relationships, and I talk about this with a lot of my friends that kind of do or are in this industry or are business owners, things of that nature. My father, who's a business owner, is when it comes to a client, to me, a relationship is significantly more important than that dollar sign. Now, what I mean is that in the beginning, I know that both myself and this person that we're about to engage in a transaction with, we both have something that we're in exchange for. But inevitably, the thing that I think the client is looking for, other than just me wanting their money, is that, do I want to work with them? Do I like what they're about? Do I like their product? Am I buying in to what they're about? And I'm not saying that every project that you're going to have this overwhelming kind of connection with the brand or the owner, the CEO, whoever's in front of the camera, you name it. But it's just one of those things where over the years I've just found being very straightforward with people, whether it be, hey, I'm just going to be brutally honest with you to save money here or to save time here. I professionally advise this, and always knowing that they can come back with a, yeah, thanks, but no thanks. Another thing too is just, it's just one of those scenarios when the more real you can be with people, the more you can treat them almost like a friend, someone that, hey, you're there for them. I just think inevitably it keeps clients in a situation where they trust you, and they'll keep coming back for, I guess, return customer, return business. And inevitably, for any business owner, that's how you're going to thrive, is having a strong customer base that is going to stay with you, is going to be repeat clientele. And then new people that come along, you definitely want to work them in, but keeping your bread and butter always happy. I kind of almost have this system where there's a core group of people over the years that I kind of would consider them like grandfathered in a way, where they gave me an opportunity years ago. They liked what I delivered, and we've kind of just grown together. And that's a part of the relationship building, is getting into a relationship with a client or a company, helping them elevate. It's a win-win for both parties, and you're together. You, in a weird way, become a part of their business. So it's more than just money. It's about a relationship. It's about two people coming together, or more than just two, and kind of collaborating and having a win-win product at the end, or a final result. Now, that being said, I'm talking about relationships, and giving you a little bit of insight in what I've found to be successful. And also, I think one other thing that can really come in handy with relationships and getting to know your clients, and your clients getting to know you, is things like YouTube. And I've kind of found this out over the past year being out on my own, is that a lot of my current clients, potential new clients, actually a client that I worked with today, one thing that his first reaction when we had kind of gotten through the whole kind of meet and greet process, diagnosing what we were looking the deliverables to be for the final project, he looked at me and he said, one thing is, I went and watched your YouTube channel, and I really liked it. And I only bring that up mainly to tell you, in this relationship building process with current clients, future clients, past clients, putting yourself out there, whether it be YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, you name it, there's just something to be said that I actually think it's another way to expand upon this relationship with these clients, future clients, past clients, you name it, where in a weird way they can come to a video like this, they can go to my YouTube videos, and they can kind of see that I'm out there teaching people, I'm working with them. They can get a little bit of an insight into what kind of individual I am, how I kind of come across. Maybe it's through a camera, but they get a little bit of a sense of who I am, what I'm going to be like, how I'm going to interact with them. So to me, I don't know, I just felt like tonight's Gear and Beer, I just wanted to do a little bit of rambling about relationship building, and how, we're roughly going on to the ninth month of this year, ninth month of completely being Lowell Productions on its own, self-sustainable. And I look back at the success that's starting to come, and more as I look at these pieces of paper, and I look at the names of the company, the people, the kind of contracts. Some of these conversations were from well over a year or two ago, whether it be hinting at someone, oh, you just got engaged, congratulations. By the way, on your wedding day, or when you're planning that wedding, if you're interested in video, I could be your guy. Or maybe it's just being out and about, and someone's on the side of the street and they're selling clothes, and just, talking to them, saying, hey, if you ever get to that time and place where you want to do any video work, take a look. And, they're able to go out there, they're able to look, like I said, whether it's Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, you name it, see if I'm the kind of guy that they want to work with. And yeah, I don't know. This is so off the top of the head. I had no notes, no nothing. Like I said, I thought I was going to talk about a recent interview that I shot, but I really just felt like I want to talk about relationships. Yeah, because all my work on this piece of paper, on the calendar up here, time and time again, I keep thinking about it, and a lot of these are coming through people that I know, referring me. It used to be having to put myself out there more and more, and don't get me wrong, I still have to put myself out there. I still have to make people aware that I do this. But the happy thing and the light at the end of the tunnel that not only myself and you can kind of rely on is that the more you put yourself out there, the more you deliver upon these contracts, these agreements that you agree upon, and you over deliver and you make someone happy, I promise you, they'll go out there and they'll share your praise, or they will praise you in a way. And that'll inevitably probably lead to more conversations that will lead to more contracts. So for all you guys out there, I know I beat this like a dead horse, but all of a few months ago, 0, and within about 6 months, 6 to 8 months, word of mouth, getting out there grinding, doing a couple of free projects, things like that. Finally starting to hit the ground running and getting some nice traction. And next episode, I look forward to talking to you guys more of about some of these contracts, some of these big projects that I've done, and actually the biggest contract that I got of this year, definitely over $10,000, and it put a big old smile on my face. So if I can do it, you guys can do it. And thanks for sticking around for Gear and Beer episode number 15. It's been a while. I have not been sticking to my once a week. Things have been crazy, but when things are crazy, that most likely means business is good. So cheers to you guys. As always, Gear and Beer, baby.